So the first thing we need to understand when we're dealing with ProfileUnity is I need a system to start with. The system that I'm going to choose is my Windows 10 desktop that's been with me for quite a while. This desktop has seen quite a bit, and most importantly, it has gigs and gigs and gigs of information bound to places like my documents and my desktop. It also has massive amounts of customization from all the applications that I've been running over the years. And if I take a look inside of the applications that I've been running quite a few. The idea is I want to migrate everything that makes this system unique to me and mine to any other system that I choose to move to, whether that's physical, virtual, in the cloud, or even a different version of Windows. So how do we go about doing that? Well, the first thing we need is we need a ProfileUnity console. So we're going to go and stand one up in a Windows Server environment, 2016, 2019, 2022, and I'm going to run a simple executable on top of it. And once I do that, it's going to give me the ProfileUnity console, including configuration management. Now, what I want to leverage is all the things we've learned here at Liquidware over the last 20 years, migrating profiles from one environment to another. The best way to do that is to use a template. So I'm going to click the red Create button. I'm going to walk through a guided template, and I'm going to choose a template that works best for me. If you want to map things directly to blob storage or Google Cloud or S3, I can click that. If you want to use SMB or UNC paths, I can click that as well. And we're going to leverage a share. So I need some place to store my profiles when I'm migrating from one environment to another. Any UNC path is fine. If I want to share this with the cloud, I can make it available through an IPsec tunnel, or I can replicate the storage between the two different locations. The next thing I need to do is decide what organizational unit I'm going to bind my GPO to. We have an agent that gets installed on the system startup, and the GPO is the easiest way to do this. So I can choose my domain, choose my organizational unit, click this red button, and now the agent will be automatically installed on any machine that I so choose. Next, we need a place to store that agent, and the best place to do that is going to be the netlogon share. We like this area because it's now replicated, multiplied by the number of DCs you have, and that means our code and agent will be replicated as well. During a POC, you don't have to use this. You can use any folder you like, but in production, this is a really great idea because it means that there is no single point of failure within the product. And now I click Finish, and I'm going to have a brand new configuration that includes all the things that Liquidware has learned about profile migrations in the last 20 years. The majority of this work is going to be done by the portability engine, which allows me to migrate between Windows 10, 11, 2016, 2019, 2022, AVD, 365, really anything that's currently supported. But this isn't the majority of my data, is it? The other data that I have to worry about is my user author data, which, as we saw before, was available to me through my user shell folders. So what I want to do is I want to synchronize this data to my new location. So anywhere I go, my data is going to be available. All my documents, my settings, my desktop background, my passwords, everything is now going to be instantly available to any new configuration or system I log into. So let's test this out. Let's go and log into a new system that's been migrated using the ProfileUnity construct. So here we have a Windows 11 system. I have not logged into this system yet, but this is a really great test because it means I get to see what a live migration looks like with ProfileUnity. So I log in using my AD credentials. The ProfileUnity splash screen just flashed across the screen there, and it provided me with the migration into this newest version of Windows. And as we can see, all of my stuff is instantly available. So if I go into, for example, my documents, we're going to find the gigs and gigs and gigs of information that I have. We can see that I've kept all my desktop background, as well as my icons. All the things that make my personalized session unique to me are now here. But for a lot of organizations, simply migrating from one version of Windows to another isn't the biggest challenge that you're going to face, is it? No, a lot of organizations are doing things on top of that, like migrating into cloud. So what happens if we repeat the exact same exercise, but instead of doing it on a local machine, we do it inside of something like Microsoft AVD? So as we see, if I go into my virtual machines, I've got a number of AVD sessions available to me. So I'm going to use my RDP session to connect me into a system that's been assigned to me. And we see that the user experience is pretty much identical to everything that we've seen so far. I log into the system, ProfileUnity runs, and all the things that are unique to me are instantly available here. So the big question then becomes, How do I know that this is actually the AVD? The answer is Windows will tell us. So we can see that this is indeed Windows 10 Enterprise for virtual desktops. We can see Microsoft Teams is just fired up. I've got the full complement of applications that comes along with it, along with every other thing that makes me and my system unique. So as we can see, we can instantly migrate to any system we want, physical, virtual, and cloud. But the other thing that we're also getting here is the ability to control automation through the environment. So when I have complex things like being able to deploy shared printers or shortcuts or office options or file locations, ProfileUnity can also automate all those things for me. So we're not only making your transition into different versions of Windows better or different platforms better, but we're making the user experience better by allowing you to automate anything that's included inside of the desktop environment.